Shut up.
All right.
Should we trust the use of eyewitness testimony in court? One of the cases that highlights this controversial topic is the case of Ronald Cotton and the rape of Jennifer Thompson.
So, Jennifer Thompson was a normal college student going to sleep early one night. All of a sudden, a man cut her telephone cord and broke into her house. Her dorm. Now,
Off-campus apartment.
once she realized what was going on, being the rape, she she immediately decided that if she was going to come out of this alive, she was going to remember her rapist and remember his face
He
and
stabbed her in
everything
the
about
neck.
it.
He stabbed her.
No, he held a knife up to her.
Oh, he didn't stab her.
He did not stab
He
her,
didn't
man.
stab her. I thought he stabbed her.
Okay,
No,
so
did not happen.
basically, within 30 minutes of the encounter, she managed to escape by offering to fix him a drink while she sprinted out the back door. Now, after this, she went immediately to the police, and they started working on finding her rapist. The interesting thing about this is there was no concrete evidence on a person. It was just her and what she saw.
It was just her memory.
Just her memory.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting
And
because
people
memory isn't pictures.
Yeah, people with possible alibis. Now, with that being said, this was enough to come up with a conviction, which is interesting because the Casey Anthony case had seemingly way more, and they didn't come up with a conviction.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that this was so the man they found. It just seemed like it was. If I was on that jury, I would have it would have seemed obvious he was guilty. It's just
Yeah.
I
She was
really,
confident, so yeah.
well, I think it was his mistaken alibi that
yeah.
really put him under.
Yeah.
Like up to that point, it was all just like, I don't want to say speculation, but all they had on him was that, what was it, that he admitted to, like, what was it, theft, and was it sexual
That was
assault?
his previous
It was
record.
Yeah.
it was breaking and entering
Yeah.
Breaking
and
and entering
a sexual assault.
sexual
Both
assault,
were in high
both
school.
when he was in when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like it was that, and what, that he was like close to the murder scene.
It's because he faked the alibi.
No, there was something else before that that connected him, that
Oh,
made him like a suspect.
I'm not sure.
I forget what it was. It might have been something with like his work. I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah.
I mean, interesting thing with that is based on what she saw, she was so confident that this was her rapist.
Mm-hmm.
And when the police showed her the images of possible suspects, they gave it to her saying that the suspect that they're looking at is in this list. So she's confident thinking, okay, my rapist is here, even though they did technically say
Yeah. Well,
that it could possibly not be
it's
a rapist. It's
the
just their main
the
suspect.
subject the suspect may or may not be in this
And
lineup.
she pointed him out.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about that leading on is that when they brought all the suspects in, she pointed out the exact same one that she pointed out in the picture, which wound up connecting, and the police told her that, so it put an idea in her head that, hey, this guy raped me. Like that, like she thought that, okay, since I was able to match up the picture and the face-to-face contact, I believe it 100% that this was him. So eventually went to court. Turned out it was enough. It was enough to put him away.
What I thought was pretty funny was how much we trusted her.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about how good her memory was in the past whatsoever.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about her past record of if she had a good memory at all. She could have just had a really bad memory and genuinely didn't remember the guy.
Well, memory is malleable. The
Yeah.
misinformation effect. And her seeing those pictures saying in her mind,
Yeah.
one of these men is my rapist, and then that being backed up by her identifying the same man in the lineup, that the misinformation effect had physically changed her memory.
Hmm.
And by that
Yeah.
point, she had gone to testify as an eyewitness. They have used eyewitness. That's like the main thing in court, the irrefutable evidence
Mm.
dating back forever. It's like the
Yeah.
first forms of forensic science is
Yep.
an
And this
eyewitness
again,
testimony.
back to how I related to Casey Anthony and the fact that she didn't get convicted. These are two different time periods we have to understand. Casey Anthony took place 2008, was it? Something like that.
After O.J.
And
Simpson,
this
before
was
O.J.
before
Simpson.
O.J. Simpson. So what is that? 80s?
Well, this happened in '84.
84. 84. Okay. So that's another thing. I feel like courts back then definitely did or
It was
rely a lot more on eyewitness
It was
testimony.
that's because it was before the first use of DNA evidence in a
Hmm.
case.
Yep.
So that was the main thing
Well,
of saying this person saw it and they swear on their life.
well, the thing is, they also they know that she got raped. They found evidence there: the broken light bulb, the cut telephone cord. They found the sperm samples. Like
Yeah.
they found everything. And the and
Well, the
come.
sperm sample was later. That was the DNA that actually got him released.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
So we are trusting the memory of people.
My memory shouldn't be trusted. I did not. I didn't do good.
Yeah.
On the
Oh
on
yeah.
the.
Okay. So okay, towards the end of this case, start to realize that this well, obviously they convicted the wrong man. They figured that out 11 years later with DNA evidence. They convicted the wrong man. They tested the sperm samples. It was not his.
Mhm.
So Cotton Cotton wasn't he wasn't guilty.
Mm-mm.
It was someone else. And guess what? That guy looked exactly like him. I saw the pictures.
I
They looked.
still I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think they looked that
I
strikingly
think
similar.
they look pretty
I could
similar.
tell the difference.
I
But
think
In a
I
dark
don't want to.
room at
I don't
night,
want to
I
keep.
could
so.
see how she believes
So
that
I
that's the
don't want to
killer.
keep
side by side, you
talking
can tell
on
the
that.
difference. If you saw one person one time and the other face another time, you could think they were the same
Wait,
person.
so
100%.
Cotton,
I see how it happened.
what was the name of the actual rapist?
It was Bobby
Cotton,
Poole.
Yeah.
Bobby Poole. Okay,
Mhm.
Cotton, Cotton is innocent,
Yes.
and we know that in retrospect. But in Cotton's second trial, when he tried to get
Bobby
his,
Poole.
he tried to get Bobby Poole convicted because he overheard that
But
it was him.
he apparently admitted to it in
She
prison
saw Bobby Poole face to face, her real rapist, and said, "This is not the man that raped me."
Hmm.
because
Which is
in her
interesting.
memory it was
In her memory, it was instilled in her
it
memory.
was no, her memory was changed to physically be the
Yeah,
face because she had seen his face now
yeah,
face to face. It had changed to be that
mhm,
face because of the
yeah,
misinformation effect and the fact that memory is not set in stone.
yeah. Obviously, by the end of the case, when they did figure out that um, that Cotton wasn't guilty, they were able to pinpoint the sperm thing on
And
uh
Bobby Poole.
on Bobby Poole, yeah, and she felt very guilty. And I don't believe that she knew what she was doing. I think that that's out of the picture that she was trying to convict the wrong man. Because
Well,
first of all, the real rapist was
of course, in her mind, she was bringing
hmm
justice
well
to her getting raped. I mean,
again
any
yeah.
rational person would do the same
I
thing.
believe
That
she's definitely saying the truth. Like that's out
it's
of the question that she's
absolutely
lying.
not her fault.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel
Um,
like the guilt that she felt was enough of a punishment, if not too much, to make up for her I guess you could say poor memory, but or
I feel like you can't make up
yeah,
for that type of thing. It's just, but it's
it
also it's not
happened.
her fault.
It's not her fault, but it happened. Like
I mean,
that's the thing, and he forgave her,
you
friends now.
can say
So
it's the
let's be
police
on it.
officer's fault for not getting the
Hmm.
right people in the lineup, but
But now, do Even though that's just one case, we just know one case where that eyewitness testimony was faulty. Should we trust eyewitness testimony? Do you want to try it out for ourselves? See if we trust our own memory.
Bet.
Bet. All right, game time. I know we already played this in class, but we're gonna try to put all of our heads together, play it at once, see if that makes any difference, because we already know that we failed by ourselves.
I can't see it.
Should help us get a better understanding. Just go, yeah, click on that. Okay.
Read.
As you're walking home after late practice, you hear noises and see movement in your front yard.
That's more passion.
So, some kids are toilet papering your trees and house. Hey, you! What are you doing in my yard?
Okay. Gotta focus here. He's coming.
So
All right.
running away, you get to see his face very closely. That's his face.
Okay, we got it. Okay.
We gotta help him.
Okay. Head. Skinnier-ish?
It was
Yeah.
pretty rectangle.
You thought it was I thought it was skinnier.
He did have
Yeah.
a pretty skinny
It
head.
looked pretty skinny. I think Troy.
Is there a skinny head option?
Yeah, no, go to oval.
Oval?
Top
This
right.
one.
Oh, that looks fine.
Yeah, that
looks
looks good. His eyes were like a deer in headlights. Like, you
But
know what I'm saying?
I think that's them.
Yes,
I think that's them.
yes. Eyebrows.
They were pretty thin.
Thin?
They're
Yeah, the deer in headlights
They're pretty
yeah.
thin. It's one of the top two. I think it's top right, maybe top left.
I think top right. I'm gonna call it top right. Because I don't remember them being like jetted like that, you know?
He had a skinny nose.
Go average and go skinny. Go to that.
Oh, no,
left.
bottom left. Yeah, bottom
left,
left. I like that one.
Yes, okay.
Small lips. He had pretty small lips.
Pretty thin, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like that. That looks good.
Yeah, okay.
Spiky hair.
Spiky hair.
That one. Yep.
Bang.
Perfect.
He didn't have anything else.
I don't think he had anything else.
That looked really good.
That's crazy.
That looks really good. I don't think there's anything else we can do better. Maybe a different pair of lips.
Three people together, see all the same thing. We can't come up with this.
It's not good enough to find the person.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Troy, you want to change it? See if you got it right. Nope.
I thought it was definitely.
All right, go to assignment 2. Click on the right.
I thought it was either the lips or
I think
eyebrows.
it might be the lips. Those look a little too heavy though.
The eyebrows, yeah.
I almost remember his eyes being wider. Maybe it's because of his eyebrows, like defining it.
Maybe it's those. No, maybe.
And obviously, we don't get 3 tries to guess the right.
You get one police sketch that goes out.
One police sketch.
You're hoping to catch someone off of that. All right, you're carefully watching the cameras when slowly.
See if we can go 1 for 2.
Someone gets in and pushes all the buttons on the elevator.
Okay.
I see
wide
thin
head,
eyes, really wide
square.
head.
Go to square.
Maybe round. Oh, yeah, one of these. Yeah, I think it's that one. That
one.
looks good.
Okay.
Close. She had close eyes.
Close eyes, you think?
Yeah, because her face started thin and then it got wider at the bottom.
Those? Yes, that looked good.
It was a pretty small nose. I don't remember her eyebrows.
I think
just go
bottom left.
That's kind of crazy, John.
I don't know about that.
All right, we'll change it once
she had a small nose though.
Small?
I think she had a short one.
Like bottom right? Do you think? Because I remember she had the
I don't
wrinkles,
think so.
right?
I don't think so.
Right.
Large lips.
Large, yeah.
But one of those two. That looks right.
Does it?
I don't know.
Okay, long hair.
It was like wavy long though. I think it might be top right.
This is. It was wavy.
I think it was wavy.
I think it was wavy.
That's kind of crazy.
I think I agree with Ben.
You don't think it was wavy? I think it looks like.
Yeah.
I think that looks right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous.
Baseball hat on.
She had a hat on. Go to age lines too. I feel like she did have some age lines.
I agree, especially on the eyes and nose region. I like that.
You think that's enough? I think she had more.
Maybe she had more. Second one, maybe? Okay.
Okay, submit. Come on. Nope. Okay. Wait,
Again.
we have another chance. We got another camera shot.
Come on.
We'll continue, yeah. Okay.
She's not wavy.
Okay,
It
it
is
is pretty
wavy.
straight.
Oh my god.
I think the first age lines.
She looks happy.
Wait,
Okay.
that looks good. I
The
don't know.
eyebrows are wrong. She doesn't have a hat anymore either.
Yeah, get rid of the.
I think
Just
the
click
age
none.
lines are
Click
right.
none. Click none and reset. I think the age lines are right. I agree.
I agree that she
You change
has
your hair
straighter
to
hair. Yeah.
straight. Troy was right, so
Yeah, I know.
I know.
He knows.
He knows.
Eyebrows just don't really look right. I didn't
They
get it. We should have taken a
were.
look at her eyebrows the second time.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
that.
this is also like
I
it's
feel like her lips were fatter though, and her eyes were a little smaller.
her head shape might be a little different too.
Yeah.
Go to rectangle actually. Check out the rectangle head shapes.
We'll try it.
No, that's not right.
No.
Absolutely not. The shape of the
I think they
lips
were
are fine.
large. They
They're
were
definitely large.
Yeah.
It might be top right.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead. Check out
Rectangle.
rectangle.
Yeah.
I don't. Those are very. No,
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 it's
go back to
definitely
square.
not.
Go back
Yeah,
to
go back
square.
to what it was. Might have been round.
Bottom right.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
Did
It's
she have
just.
like a chin? Like a
I don't.
defined
I don't
chin?
think she had it. I think we would have
All right,
noticed
we
that.
submitting?
Age lines.
Yeah.
Okay. Age lines. Okay.
Yeah, those are good.
Perfect. That might be mutt. Like a little bit too much.
It definitely doesn't look like her.
Dude, we just butchered it even more. Go to Misk again. Are you changing the head shape?
I just
Might be
gotta go
square. Yeah, that looks better. She looks too old now, though.
Yeah, just go one age line down. Go to the, yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, we failed. 3 people could not get it done.
I mean,
That's rough,
that
dude.
just proves that how
rough.
bad our
And obviously, it's a game.
memory is.
It's not gonna be the same, and we're using 3 people, which is, conflicting ideas. But it's.
So I think it's 2 more minds to remember.
How did you guys do with the one in class
The one today.
Oh, I went over.
with Karen's sister?
Oh, didn't even see her. Did
I
not even see her walk in.
I got it.
missed it completely.
I got it right. Like all of
Did you
it.
see her walk in?
no, you did.
Because I was sitting right there. I knew someone walked in and I was like
Mhm.
I just paid attention to it. She was asking for a calculator.
Yeah.
I just remembered navy shirt.
Dude, I missed the
I
entire
got the height
thing.
so wrong though.
I
But I
was
can't tell
so
someone's height if I'm
confused.
sitting down.
5'5". She said 4'11".
Yeah, that was bad.
All right.
I said 5'4".
Something like that. I just don't trust myself now. Like, thinking about eyewitness accounts, it's multiple possibilities. The person could be lying for their own benefit.
Mhm.
Because
people have lied on the stand before.
Yeah. Casey Anthony again lied about
Under
literally everything she said. Yeah, there's just nothing concrete to go on, I think, although saying that they shouldn't be used at all is a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
I think they should definitely be put behind any physical forensic evidence.
Questioned a bit more.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, the way that the police went about asking her, "Is this your rapist?" and telling her things that she did not need to be told in the case. Putting thoughts in her head.
Mm-hmm.
That messes with you.
I thought a really important part of it was the did you see the experiment that they did with reinforcement about the suspects? It was like
Oh, they changed the face slightly, and
no,
you
no,
had to
no,
check
no,
the
no, no.
difference.
I'm talking about the one. It was the one where they told people they was like, okay, so they picked out their suspect, and then it was like a reinforcement of words. Like the officer said, he said like, oh, so you picked out your suspect, or you
Yeah,
picked
yeah,
out the
I do
suspect.
remember that.
Yeah,
And it
yeah, yeah.
made them much more confident in how good the lineup was or how good the video was, whatever they
Exactly.
showed them.
It was like, are you positive? And people responded that they were more certain
Yep.
because of
Because the
that
officer said, and
reinforcement.
then she got reinforced with the
It
picture being
it
the
was a
same person
big
she picked up
difference
in the
too,
lineup.
wasn't it?
It was a very big difference. It was more than
Massive,
double.
Yeah.
massive.
So
It,
At
it
least
obvious.
was
at
it
least that's
was
what I remember seeing on the
dude.
screen.
No,
It could have been anything.
the control bar was like non-existent, and then the like, dude, the like
Yeah.
variable bar was insane.
But that's just what you
Put back on the
remember.
cozy ambiance.
That
I don't
is
want to keep looking
just
at.
what I
Yeah, can
remember.
you change the screen?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Come on now. Come on now, Troy. All right.
Thank you.
So, what do you guys think should be done then? Where should, how valuable should eyewitness accounts be seen as by a jury?
I still think they are very valuable pieces of evidence.
Okay.
However, I feel like people should consider more deeply that people don't always tell the truth based on the
Yeah.
situation that they're in.
Well, when
And how they need to
okay.
realize just how big of an impact these statements
Yeah.
can have on the verdict. Like, because this is like, they are the decision. And those, if those accounts are all you have to go off of, you are completely putting your trust in that person.
Exactly.
And it's not just
That
like,
shouldn't be, in my opinion, that shouldn't be enough to convict someone. If that's all you have,
mm,
although you had in this case, you had the evidence for a rape. A rape definitely happened.
mm,
They were able to confirm that. They had only the eyewitness count and the fact that he didn't have an alibi as the evidence to convict him and put him behind bars. Is that enough?
I don't think
The
so.
fact that he can't explain where he was that night, and
11 years.
yeah,
11 years.
is that enough? If it
And
was,
2 trials.
Yeah. Yeah, and the second one was with the actual rapist.
Yes.
And she still identified it
yeah,
incorrectly.
Yes.
yeah. The interesting contrast between this and Casey Anthony, polar opposite cases.
Mm.
Like, it's so interesting to think about. She could get off when literally everything is pointing at her, and he can go down for life when one finger pointed.
Mm.
That's all it took.
If
The
you were on the jury, what
duality.
would you have said?
On this case, nowadays, I would
No,
say it's
no, no. If you were on the jury with the evidence presented originally, the alibi, the eyewitness testimony with the lineup and the picture, and all the other stuff with his past history, what would you say?
I would say no. I believe I would say no.
You would say no.
I would say it's not enough to convict him. Obviously, again, it was a different time, and I'm thinking
This
differently
guy,
than
she
a jury.
swore it was this guy in two different instances that matched up. He has a history of breaking and entering and sexual assault. Both were things that happened, and he was seen in the area, and he had a false alibi for that night. It
Okay.
just,
At the time,
yeah, it just
John,
all seems to line up so perfectly that it was him.
they didn't have the
I wouldn't,
DNA.
I could not make myself say that he was innocent to
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
What you're working off of is
It's that, and
I
pretty
get that.
much
So both of
your
you,
evidence is the eyewitness accounts, and that's it.
yeah,
but it just seems so damning at face value. It just seems like it's him.
yeah,
And so all the other stuff and just that's separate, but backed up with the eyewitness testimony, it just seems like there is all of this about this guy, and she swore it was him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean all of this? All I can
Like
think
his
of is
past
His past history,
okay,
and
and his
history
false
his
and no
alibi.
alibi.
and his wrong alibi.
Two things.
Two things about him.
Mm.
Past history of the exact things that
At the same time, those
occurred
are
in the
both
case.
circumstantial.
Yeah, the false alibi is kind of weird, but he was just
It
mistaken.
yeah,
He said he was
it's still
mistaken with weekends.
circumstantial. It's not a physical piece of evidence. Like same thing. Casey Anthony was lying about everything. She had false alibis everywhere.
How long
All
did it
that was
take them to
circumstantial.
deliberate? What was it? 80 minutes? What did it say? I don't remember.
It was something pretty short.
It only took her 5 minutes to pick out her
No, no,
suspect.
the jury
I
to
don't
It
remember
it,
how
it
long it
it
took the
was
jury.
short case.
it was very short. They went in there and they agreed.
Yep. I still don't think just the way that I'm thinking. I get CSI effect.
Mm.
Maybe I'm thinking too much hard on forensics.
This was 1984.
Yeah.
This
Maybe I'm
was
thinking that the lack of
for
it
for a
is
case of that time. That's so much evidence towards this guy. I don't know.
So,
It's not the jury's fault. It's not.
yeah. It's hard for
so
me to
wait,
put
you're
myself in the
saying
shoes of someone in that
reverse
time period.
CSI effect.
No, just CSI effect for me. CSI effect.
Oh, okay.
Like
I thought
what
you were talking about
because
like
I can't really put myself in the shoes of someone on that jury then who just walks in the courtroom and just says, all this evidence I'm given, they think evidence is enough. Like I'm saying, there's really nothing physical there pointing to the fact that it's him,
Mm.
And there wasn't. Turns
I'm
out it was someone else.
There was also the foam that could have come from his shoe in her room that was found.
Oh yeah, true.
That
But
like
Yeah, well,
it's foam from a shoe,
I really
or it's
I,
just foam.
what else
talk
physical
about
would
this.
you like?
I want to
Yeah.
talk about this reverse CSI effect idea though.
Okay.
So the CSI effect, right?
Yes.
People see the CSI shows and they expect more from the investigators, right? And forensics.
Someone who's never heard of any sort of forensic science before.
Mm-hmm.
Some farmer guy who's being called to the
Well, we
stand.
don't know if the jury was entirely
Does
like that.
that
If
mean
it's one
does
person,
does that mean if someone is completely isolated from those CSI shows,
Mhm.
they can't see any of
They
it,
just aren't
like
familiar
they would
with the
have
legal
been
process.
back then, right?
it didn't exist. Those shows were not popular, and forensic science was not as
Yeah.
much of a
They were
field
just
that it is
finding out
today.
about DNA with OJ.
Yeah, that was the
Mm-hmm.
first case that changed the DNA
So
use.
would that cause them to expect less from the forensic investigators and have to trust
Yes.
the eyewitness accounts a lot more?
Yes.
And
Oh.
these
Mhm.
circumstantial
That
evidence
I can
points.
see why the jury would do that, but me, I wouldn't but I can't. At the same time, I can't put myself in their shoes.
I just think
I
It's
can't
hard
think
to
that way.
empathize.
I just think
Yeah.
it's so obvious. If I'm there, it's just so obvious that I
Yeah.
would pick him, and it wasn't. It's just it makes you hard. Well, so without the information that it actually wasn't him, it seems shocking that it
Yeah.
wouldn't be him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That there was someone so similar to him that also was in the same
Mhm.
like it just matches up really
Yeah.
really interestingly.
Okay. I mean, this again, Casey Anthony case. Like I know I keep bringing this up, but to me, I just can't get out of my head how connected these cases are. It's just the time period that changed the conviction. The jury was thinking more towards forensics in Casey Anthony's case, which had more forensics than um, than the case in 1984, which obviously the conviction was different.
They're not similar though. One was a rape and one was a murder of
Yeah,
your
no,
own child.
it's. I'm talking about the evidence, the way that
Okay.
lined up, and the way that the jury reacted on a tough case that there is no obvious answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you said that the jury thought it was obvious, but again, he didn't do it, so it wasn't obvious. And meanwhile, Casey Anthony, seemingly obvious, they didn't think they had enough.
It was just a really big coincidence of all that stuff,
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate. But
it is unfortunate. I mean,
well,
I'm just glad
just
there was a happy ending.
yeah,
propose a way to
very.
prevent that.
Mm.
Well, what's a way to prevent that from
Well,
happening?
that's the thing.
In that case, something that they could have done differently from the start that prevents him from going to jail for 11 years.
That's the thing. We can't.
You can't.
Well, actually, the one thing, the way that the police and the investigators present the suspects to to her.
Well, it's hard. They weren't trained for something
They
like
Exactly.
they
that.
I know,
weren't
but
trained
it's
in memory.
preventable. Like
And if they
it
were
is
trained for
technically
stuff like
preventable.
that,
The
then
Yeah,
yeah, it would have
the
if
helped.
the
It would
lead
have helped.
detective from the case
so, the
even said
system did
he
technically fail
changed
them.
his mind. The system did fail. The justice system
Obviously, they
failed.
didn't know about that then, but at the same time, it was a technical. Like they didn't know about DNA. They didn't know that they could use that. At the same time, it was a technical. Um, it was a technical piece of that case.
The justice system is going to fail, though. It
Yeah,
always will.
it
It
just yeah
it failed on Casey Anthony. It failed on O.J. Simpson.
yeah. And
But like,
okay,
just you need to propose a justice system that doesn't fail for a
look,
country, and you can't. It's
we
not
we have
possible.
to come up with a conclusion for nowadays. What do we think that eyewitness testimony should have to do nowadays? I think, based on what I saw of Casey Anthony, the modernization and CSI effect, I think that having them in court is fine. It's beneficial because nobody's going to get arrested just based on eyewitness testimony
Eyewitness
anymore.
testimony should always be included in a
Mm-hmm.
case if there is one. It's just the
Nowadays,
weight that it should hold on the
the weight that it
jurors.
should always come below physical evidence.
Yeah, of course,
Always.
of course.
Mm-hmm. And
Because
if
it's
it is
not
the
physical
only piece of
evidence.
evidence there, it should not be enough to convict.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just shouldn't.
And it isn't nowadays.
Yeah.
It used to be. Now that we have these other types of evidences, it's not really the case.
Yeah.
If you say, I mean, someone robs your store as a store owner and they say, I think it was this guy, they're not it's not gonna
So that's what we decide. Bottom line is it's not enough to convict, and it should be put below every other kind of physical evidence, but it should still be used.
There you have it.
There you have it.
That's pretty much how it is nowadays. It's use less.